There we go. Damn it. I've been talking and I even, yeah. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I was talking and I didn't press the button. But now the button is pressed. Y'all can see who you're talking to. Yeah, I enjoy wearing my mask. There's a purpose and a point to me wearing a mask. All right. So I don't want to hear no nonsense from none of these social media characters about, oh, Tom Hall Tony wears a mask. I enjoy it. That's what I like. But anyway, I'm about to begin a screen share in a minute. Um, I see two of y'all are present right now. Roman Wolf was good. How you, man? Appreciate your presence. See two of y'all are present. Roman Wolf was good. You know what I'm saying? LL Lewis, how you doing? You know what I mean? But yeah, we about to go ahead and get into some things, man, because one of my reasons for even getting on YouTube, social media was, for one, I was invited to this. I never wanted to do no fucking media shit. Nah, I like to deal with the people. That's my media. Real life shit. That's media to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was invited to the situation. I initially declined. And then I'm like, hold up, man. Nah, man, we gotta hit harder than that. We gotta let the people know what the fuck is going on out here. Cause shit is serious. Shit has been serious for our people since this fucking invasion began. You want to reference 1492? Since 1492, fuck it. Call it that. But shit's been serious. Yo, hold on one second, y'all. I got a call coming in. It was good, man. How you? No, I'm just doing live right now. I'm doing live. You can feel free to tap in. Yeah, I'm doing it on Tom Hawk Tony channel. Yeah. And yeah, you'll see it on YouTube. Feel free to share it too. It's all good. All right, might be good. Yep. Yeah, my apologies, y'all. But yeah, since invasion, right? Um, I think to myself, right, as I had my experience as a natural man in this commercial environment, I think to myself, like, damn, um, what was the experience like for our ancestors? You know what I'm saying? Like, was they given full disclosure about what was being brought to our territories and lands? Was they given full disclosure about the intent of all these various foreigners that are arriving to our lands? Their backgrounds, their experiences. I mean, we have our own, but they have their own as well. And so for me, it's a multidimensional situation. It's not limited to just they're foreigners. No, it's about perception to me. Because since foreign arrival, before the foreigners arrived, during their arrival, to their active presence and continuous arrival, right? They perceive our American people a certain kind of way, period, man. It's embedded in their media, it's embedded in their literature, in their communications, their language, their customs, everything. They have their own practices that are not like ours. Okay. Our American people, it's been documented by the foreigners that we are very hospitable. Our land is hospitable. Hospitable, in summary, means welcoming. We're welcoming as a people, and our land is welcoming. So now, let me get into it. These foreigners have manipulated language. Yes, Roman Wolf, absolutely. We was not told of their intent. We wasn't told of the foreigners' intent. Absolutely not. Why would you disclose your intent to a stranger? We were strange to them. They had no reason in their logic as foreigners to disclose their intent to us. They just did not. So now, appreciation and purpose. Yo, throughout my years, I've extended appreciation to our American peoples, as diverse as we are. Nation to nation, tribe to tribe, clan to clan, Ixa to Ixa, clan to, all of that, man. Individual to individual. Yo, we have our own ways. I mean, we're natural. Yo, yesterday morning, for example, I saw a natural squirrel, natural American squirrel. It was eating an onion ring. Other squirrels might not like onion rings, but this particular squirrel, it was smashing that onion ring. That's the individual squirrel, though. That's that one squirrel that's eating an onion ring. Okay? But anyway, what I'm saying is this: there's diversity amongst our people, and I appreciate the diversity. We see it throughout the arts of our people. The arts pertains to culture and the heritage of our American people that has been since exploited for commercial gain by these foreigners. Every foreign corporation seeks to exploit everything that is ours and exclude us from what is ours. I work with a great team of people, and I appreciate all of these people that I work with. So we're making preparations so that we can secure what is ours, collectively speaking, for every nation of our people. Making preparations so that we can inform each other of what nations you come from, the people that you are indigenous to, the land in which your people are indigenous to, right here in the Americas. It's not been easy, man. Relatives, so-called friends, neighbors, associates, colleagues, clients, whatever, man. The foreigners have impacted the minds and the spirit of our people tremendously due to their investment. But regardless, we still have our duty. I acknowledge mine. I'm committed and dedicated to mine. And I encourage others to identify their duty. At the same time, identifying your duty, knowing that you have the natural authority to do you, be you, for you and yours. And what I mean by you and yours is you and your people, our neighbors. We're neighbors here. Our ancestors was neighbors. I just went on AP channel the other day. When I was on Aboriginal Power channel, I was like, yo, we had trade languages. We had our primary language, the language of our people, of our who we relate to, descend from, etc. Our cultural languages, right? But then we also have the trade languages, so we can interact with our neighbors, our American peoples. Communication is very important. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the screen share. But I just wanted to present that right there before we proceed. And once again, I appreciate our American peoples. Much appreciation to you all. You know what I'm saying? Cowboy season is over. Kill confusion, kill foreign media, kill your TV, don't be cannon fodder, kill identity crisis, etc., etc. Straight like that. Let's go. Let me go ahead and get the screen share popping though. Yeah, you about to get into it. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. Got him. All right. I'm still learning this new software right here. So check it. And let me do this too. Because I need to see what it looked like on YouTube live and shit. You know what I'm saying? Give me one moment here. Give me one moment here. That's a bet. So yo, we're gonna go and get this thing moving. So first up, right? You know, we got a lot of terms being thrown around, right? Terms such as Aboriginal, good term, very good term. You know, we're dealing with meaning of Aboriginal, a member of a race of people who were the first people to live in a country before any colonists arrived. Okay, before any colonists arrived. Now we're about to do a comparative analysis because I'm big on comparative analysis. I'm very big on comparative analysis, but we're going to begin with Aboriginal, and we're going to see key terms here such as Native American, okay, Indigenous, all right? So we're going to compare all of these terms, and I'm just going to speak to you all about it as we proceed. So the first link right there, we got Cambridge Dictionary, okay? That's Cambridge Dictionary. Now we're going to go to Lexico. This is Oxford English and Spanish Dictionary. Aboriginal, inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or from before the arrival of colonists. Indigenous, it says, right? Continue. Now we're at Duhame's Law Dictionary. It says here, pertaining to things or land or person or members of a race which are indigenous to or first occupied a specified territory. Woodward adopts this definition, inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or from before the arrival of colonists, as Oxford Dictionary suggests in regards to Aboriginal. First or earliest, so far as history or science gives record, the earliest inhabitants as distinguished from subsequent European colonists. Okay? Now, the reason why this is important is real simple. We have foreigners that are claiming to be this, claiming to be Aboriginal. Foreigners are. But by definition, foreigners cannot associate to this term because this is not their land. They are colonists. And we have to kill the confusion amongst our people so that we can effectively communicate to these foreigners who and what they are when it pertains to our American people. And I'm going to show you why this is important as we proceed. Now let's go. Here it is. I'm on NYULawglobal.org right now. Okay. It's saying here indigenous people now. We're going from Aboriginal to indigenous now. Okay. Indigenous peoples, definition of indigenous peoples. Historically, there has been no single way to define indigenous populations, and the terms used often vary locally. That means that they're different locally. But according to who? For example, in Australia, the indigenous groups are commonly referred to collectively as Aborigines, and in the United States, they are referred to as Indians or Native Americans. Now, you see here? This is where confusion throughout foreign media, okay? Because media includes publications, literature. Media is not limited to television, okay? This is what it's saying here. This can be problematic at the international level. You see? Very key language right there. This can be problematic at the international level because it can make it difficult to negotiate and draft treaties designed to protect indigenous groups. It can also complicate directives or policies by international organizations. Despite this complexity, in the past 50 years, there has been a move toward a broad definition that is inclusive of various ethnic groups and appreciates the identity and heritage of each group. Now, in regards to our American people throughout here, the Americas, I ask a question now. Yo, is our identity being appreciated, our heritage of each group, each nation of our American peoples? Is this being appreciated? Because what I'm aware of, we have foreigners, descendants of past colonists, right, claiming our American identity. They're claiming the identity of the various groups, nations, tribes, clans, ixos, for example, of our people. It's happening right now, been happening. This is foreign strategies of war. This here is foreign strategies of war. Colonization itself is a strategy of war. Let's continue. The indigenous peoples in international law, S. James Anaya, defines the term indigenous as referring broadly to the living descendants of pre-invasion inhabitants of lands now dominated by others. Now dominated by others. Wow. Isn't that interesting language? Now dominated by others. God damn. Well, according to who? Dominated according to who? Who determines, dictates, authorizes, establishes domination? Do we do it? Is domination in the minds of our people when we awake in the morning? You know, I just went on Instagram this morning, right? And I saw a post from some good people from the Shinnecock Nation, right? Out of New York. So apparently, the state of New York, formerly the New Amsterdam Company, the Dutch East India, West India Company, etc., right? These foreign European colonial companies chartered by foreign European nations, right, became the state of New York. True, absolute truth right there, right? And they are suing. There's an active lawsuit. The state of New York, a foreign corporation, company, has against the Shinnecock Nation, which is Aboriginal, indigenous to these here Americas. I got a lot to say about that, and this is what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna go and pull up the post. We have the Facebook page from Aboriginal American Troops connected to the website, aboriginalamericantruths.com. Okay, I'm gonna show you this real quick. Here it is right here. Now, this woman here, the Two Squad, right? Hope I'm saying her name correctly. She's Shinnecock. She's saying here, please repost. Unfortunately, after 400 years, my tribe, the Shinnecock Nation, She's saying here her tribe. Unfortunately, after 400 years, my tribe is still battling the same battles. Why are New York Governor Cuomo and New York State AG wasting taxpayer money to wage economic warfare against the Shinnecock Nation? Okay. Well, let's take a look at who the current New York AG is real quick, right? And we're also going to take a look at who the governor is of New York. Me personally, I don't like calling these people governors. I just don't. You know what I mean? Because I do not accept foreign governance. You know, it's just not in me to accept what that means. Okay, but here's a picture of Cuomo, whatever. Okay, where is he from? What gives them the authority to sue, to file a suit against the Shinnecock Nation, our American peoples, who have been through so much colonially since colonization began? What gives them the natural right when the Shinnecock have not infringed on them as they've been infringed upon by them? These are foreigners. Let's take a look real quick. Where is this Andrew Cuomo from? Where is he from? And see, I hate this real quick, right? See, it says on Wikipedia is an American politician. Yo, we are Americans. We are Americans. So how was he an American politician? He's a United States, New York company politician. I prefer to be clear on terms and language. That's my preference. I'm not saying anyone agree with me. I'm not encouraging disagreement. I'm just stating clearly where I stand with that fact. Because that is a fact. I don't care about opinion and politically correct, whatever. I don't care about none of that. What I'm concerned with is the clarity in the minds for the spirit of our American peoples. These are not Americans. I don't care. That contributes to the usurpation, the denationalization, the ethnocide of our American people. About foreigners claiming to be us. American is clearly defined. Before there was an 1828 definition of American, you had the work of Constantine Samuel Rafinsky. He said the American nations clearly in his text. Brandon Rogers, I see you. How you doing? Appreciate your presence. But where's Cuomo from? And like I said, we're going to get into some things here. Let me see here. I'm just going to run a search for lineage. I see his lineage. I'm just curious to know, where is he from? Here we go. Got something right here. Family tree of Andrew Mark Cuomo. Okay? Public information here. Yo, Devon Carlo, how are you? Appreciate your presence. Where is he from? Alrighty. Not a whole lot of information here, though. You got some things going back to the 1830s, 1838. A Francesca de Ella. Who is that? Sound like a female there. Remember, in law, the child inherits the status of the mother. Right? Let's continue. Let's see what's up. Not a whole lot of information on these people here, but it sounds Italian though, right? Sounds Italian. So this is what I'm gonna do. Yep, look at that, look at that. She was born in Italy. She's an Italian. Says it right here, 1838, born in Italy. He's an Italian. So hold on, let me get this straight real quick. An Italian immigrant becomes governor for the company of quote unquote New York. The state of New York is a company, as I said a moment ago, right? He becomes governor, right? And now New York, the company, is suing the Shinnecock Nation of the Americas. After everything, the Shinnecock Nation and all the neighboring nations in the Northeast of these Americas, right, have experienced. They're being sued. These are things in which we need to be concerned with. They've already infringed on so many rights, natural rights of these natural people here. So for me, I just have a simple question. How is this acceptable? Should we, as the Aboriginal, indigenous Americans of these here Americas, should we find these legal, quote unquote, legal actions acceptable by foreigners? Just a question. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna close that out real quick. Give me one moment. Why are Andrew Cuomo and New York State Attorney General Letitia James waging economic warfare against the Shinnecock Nation? Right. Let's continue. Let's look up Letitia James real quick. Who is she? Where's she from? Oh wow, look at her. It says Letitia and Tish James is an American lawyer, activist, and politician. Wow, she really might be American. Says here, look at this. Isn't this interesting here? Her nationality is American. But how? This is a question I asked some time ago. How is it people of certain positions, quote unquote, public, official, celebrity, whatever, right? How is it actors, actresses, politicians, etc.? How is it that they have a classification, a nationality of American, but meanwhile, too many and so many of our American people, their classification is quote unquote African American. It says here that she's 62 years old, born in Brooklyn, New York. She's born in Shinnecock territory, right? Is she aware of the history of New York for her to be a participant in a lawsuit against the original, the indigenous, the Aboriginal inhabitants of this territory, commercially known as New York? Is she aware of this history? That's another question I have. Should she be made aware? Should she be made aware if she's not? Next up is, will she behave? Will she do anything differently with this public office that she has been elected slash selected to be in regards to not contributing to more abuse and harm, waging economic warfare against the Shinnecock Nation? I mean, come on, man. It's right here. Yo, what this post asked for, right? is for people to contact these offices and pretty much tell them to drop the lawsuit against the Shinnecock Nation. The numbers are listed here. Feel free to go on Aboriginal American Truth's Instagram. The numbers are right there. It's also posted on the Facebook group. The numbers are posted. You can copy and paste, take note from this video as well. But they are asking the people. So I'm just reiterating the message right now. They're asking the people to call and tell them to drop the lawsuit. Because, for one, we being aware of what we are aware of, and please pardon me for looking down, looking at my phone while the screen share is running, just so I can monitor different things on the device and shit. But anyway, yeah. Those of us that are aware, in my opinion, this contributes to the duty in which we have to be of support to our American people when they ask for us to assist them with a simple phone call. Emails, etc. We got all these good people in New York, our American people in New York. They need to be aware. The whole tri-state area needs to be aware. Of the history of New York, of the people, our relationships with other American peoples throughout the Americas, and the work that we got to do. Because this right here is a part of the work that we have to do. This here is a part of the work that we got to do. I'm about to move on in a moment. Let's continue. So we've shown the definition of Aboriginal. Now we're into indigenous, right? Broadly to the living descendants of pre-invasion inhabitants of lands now dominated by others. State of New York is the reference, as an example. The company, the states are companies. Don't get it twisted. There's a CFR that says all commerce is fiction, right? Let's pull it up. Corporate, fictitious entity. All right. In the case of a corporation, a fictitious business name is any name other than a corporate name stated in its articles of incorporation. So therefore, these businesses can have many names, in other words, right there, right? But let's go ahead and pull up the CFR code. Specifically here, all commerce is fiction. Because these are commercial entities. This is very important here because we are natural people. And these commercial entities are seeking to disturb our natural rights, powers, duties, authority, and etc. Let me just run a search on all commerce is fiction because this is taking a little too much for me right now. Let me see here. Give me one moment. I meant to have this prepared. A little delayed here. Was doing a whole bunch of research this morning on another subject matter. Okay, here we go. We got a link right here. God damn it, this is taking too long. You know, I'm about to come back and do another presentation on this one. I do have the notes on this. It's just going to take a little bit of time because this is not really what I want to get into today. But anyway, it says here, this is bhaaslaw.wordpress.com. And so there should be some citations on here. But let's just go through this real quick. It says here, everything in commerce is fictional, okay? Including that legal name you always thought was you. Now, this gets into a very serious subject matter just based upon that right there. Oh, wow, look what we have here. Artificial person. Now, some of y'all might be aware, artificial persons are companies, all right? An artificial person, a legal entity that is not a human, but for certain purposes considered by virtue of statute to be a natural person. A corporation is considered an artificial person for service of process. You understand that? Service of process, what's that about? Delivery of a writ summons or other legal papers to the person required to respond to them. So they want the natural person to respond to a commercial, fictitious person? That's what's going on here. And this is why awareness is so important. Process is a general term for the legal document by which a lawsuit is started and the court asserts its jurisdiction over the parties in the controversy. In modern U.S. law, process is usually a summons. A summons is a paper that tells the defendant that he is being sued in a specific court that the plaintiff believes has jurisdiction. Wow. So how is it that we have foreigners, a foreign artificial person, company, corporation, what have you, under the false pretense that they have jurisdiction over our Aboriginal, Indigenous American nations? How is this acceptable for a foreigner to believe and to have this false pretense that they have jurisdiction? Well, I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. Let's go back real quick, right here. Broadly to the living descendants of pre-invasion inhabitants of lands now dominated by others. Now dominated by others. Now who will say such a thing other than a foreigner who is perceiving themselves as being dominant? See, this is the difference between us and them. Yo, dominance, dominance, dominance. What does that mean to you? What does dominance mean to you? Feel free to put it into the chat. And I'll pull up a definition in a moment. Dominance. Foreign colonial dominance. Foreign invasive dominance. Devon, appreciate you. Dominion. Dominance. Let's go and take a look real quick. Pull it up. First, I'm going to look for a legal definition. I'm doing this so you all could be aware. Okay? As here on Legal Dictionary, right? Legal Dictionary, I believe they reference second edition of Black's Law, right? It says here, that which is dominant possesses rights that prevail over those of others. In property law, the estate to which an easement or right of use is given is called the dominant tenement or estate. And the one upon the easement is imposed is called the servient tenement or estate. Said a lot right there. But in summary, this situation, the foreigners have assumed dominance throughout their colonial venture. This is an investment. It's a venture. This is a whole business operation, just like how we referenced a moment ago. Let's show that again. Artificial person. We're dealing with companies Look, artificial person in a figurative sense, a body of men or company are sometimes called an artificial person because the law associates them as one and gives them various powers possessed by natural persons. Corporations are such artificial persons. And so we have a series of artificial persons, companies, bodies of foreign men, as well as females, women, right? That have come to our American lands. And when they want to file lawsuits, they want to do all kinds of crazy things to this day against our American people. I'm leaving that up there. We're going to continue, right? Now, here we go. This part right here is to clear up confusion because we have a lot of people that accept this native term. Myself, I don't accept it because I defined it based upon what the foreigners defined it to be. It comes from, native comes from them. That's not in our Aboriginal American languages. I've looked for it. I haven't found it. Haven't seen NATIVE in any of our Aboriginal American languages. Nowhere. Okay? It says here, natives, all persons born within the jurisdiction of the United States are considered as natives. Ain't that a bitch? Look at that right there. Right there. All persons born within the jurisdiction of the United States are considered as natives. Let's continue. Natives will be classed into those born before the Declaration of our independence and those born since. Okay? All persons without regard to their place, to the place of their birth, who were born before the Declaration of Independence, who were born in the country at the time it was made, and who yielded a deliberate assent to it, either express or implied. Express or implied. As by remaining in the country are considered as natives. Those persons who were born within the colonies and before the Declaration of Independence, removed into another part of the British dominions and did not return prior to the peace would not probably be considered natives, but aliens. Persons born within the United States since the Revolution may be classed into those who are citizens and those who are not. Now you see, the definition is transition from just anyone born in the quote unquote United States, right? To now becoming a citizen of the United States. Yo, Halito, Chief Warrior, to listen, know your mean, appreciate your presence. Absolutely. And to everyone in the chat, absolutely. Appreciate you all. Let's continue. What is looking like right here? Natives who are citizens of the children of citizens and of aliens who at the time of their birth were residing within the United States. So my point is this here, right? The foreigners have defined all of these terms. And for our American people, for our Aboriginal, Indigenous American people, right? Because Native, Aboriginal, and Indigenous are different definitions. Aboriginal and Indigenous are synonymous. We're going to add another word. Autochthonous. Okay? Autochthonous, right? Some of y'all might be aware of this word. Great term right here. We also want to go back to lexical. Lexical is Oxford. Okay? We're going to move this over here. Because autochthonous and native, two different things. Period. It says, autochthonous, right? Of an inhabitant of a place, indigenous rather than descendant from migrants or colonists, rather than different than, rather than means different than migrants or colonists. Migrant, define immigrant. Reference point, immigrant. A migrant is an immigrant. They migrated somewhere. Understand? Colonists. Colonists, that's a reference to someone who came to colonize. They came to your land for your resources. Long story short, brought all types of conflict of interest to begin with. Shit. Did you want them on your goddamn land? Were you aware? Were you given full disclosure? Was there a fucking agreement to begin with? Not that I've seen. To begin with, no, there was not. That's another presentation, though. We gonna get into some shit. Got some serious presentations coming, but yo, Aboriginal, autochthonous, indigenous, yo, those are not natives. Those are not natives. Natives are any U.S. fucking citizen. Just read it. Let's read it again. Persons born with the United States since the Revolution may be classed into those who are citizens and those who are not. Natives who are citizens are the children of citizens and of aliens who at the time of their birth were residing within the United States. Period. These are the real definitions here. I'm not here for debate. They got this new thing they did this year, 2020, quote unquote fact checking. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm a fact check. I'm a fact checker. I'm a fact checker. I'm checking right now. Now look. Back to indigenous here, right? Produced, growing, living, or occurring. It says here they inserted natively, and then they put or naturally in a particular region or environment. But we already defined what natively is. So now, from an ecological standpoint, when you say native, right, that means that, you can take seeds from a foreign place, right, to another place, right, plant those seeds, right, and then now they can be produced, they can grow, they can live if they can meet the conditions of that natural environment, that region. Now those seeds become native. Now, hold on, we're going to go back to native real quick. Part of my emphasis here. But yo, I'm coming to a point very, very soon. Pull up native. Here we go. Now look, once again, native, because we're talking about people here. A natural born subject or citizen. A subject means that, you're subject, you're subjugated. You are lesser than those that are dominant, right? A denizen by birth, one who owes his domicile citizenship to the fact of his birth within the country referred to. The term may also include one born abroad if his parents were then citizens of the country and not permanently residing in foreign parts. This is law. The foreigners have defined everything. That's why I say kill confusion, because we have to remove confusion amongst ourselves. When people are saying things, right? We got to know what they're saying as soon as they fucking say the shit. We got to identify if it's correct or if it's incorrect immediately and address that shit. We cannot co-sign lies and fraud. Because that's what's been going on. Consent to fraud. Calling yourself a native when it means, oh, U.S. citizen, subject. Subject to the jurisdiction, subject to all of the abuse and corruption. All this criminal activity that was imported to our land, to our territories. All of this, right? Huh? We're going to be subject to corruption, to perversion, and all of this madness. We're going to be, fuck no, I'm not going to be subject. Nah. And I'm going to do everything with my ability to inform our people so that they can effectively choose what to be. Do you want to be subject? Simple question. Do you want to be subject to foreign corruption? Simple question. Due to this so-called dominance, right? Due to the so-called dominance, what we got going on now? Since this invasion occurred, right? This colonial situation, right? What's occurred? GMO crops. Yo, the markets have been dominated with poisonous foods, right? That's a massive situation, subject matter within itself. We can get in that another time too. Let's continue though. Because I ain't with being dominated. I ain't with that shit. Now here's another definition, right? This is from uslegal.com. Native also, Native American specifically, right? It says a term Native Americans, quote unquote, or Indians, quote unquote. Gotta pay attention to these quotes when you look at these definitions. Says here refers to Eskimos, Aleuts, and Native North Americans. An Indian tribe is a body of Indians of the same or similar race united in the community under one leadership or government and inhabiting a particular territory. The term tribe varies from statute to statute and is sometimes used interchangeably with nation or sub-tribe. Whoa, 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 whoa. I do appreciate the foreigners and them defining so much, but I'm saying, though, it is important for us to get back into our Aboriginal, Indigenous, Autochthonous, American languages. It is vital that we do this. I don't care. It is vital because in our American languages, right, we have already defined these terms for ourselves. We've already defined these terms. We define the nations which come from the land. You'll see in through your genealogy research, just research in general, right? You'll see that the people is named after the land. Because we are the land. In my research, presented in my book, right? In my research, I found the Spanish had something called Piezas de India. Piezas de India. Let me show you this shit. Piezza de India. Let me show you this shit. Show you this shit. Oh man, they playing on here. Shit, I'm gonna have to pull up my book in a minute. These motherfuckers is playing. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna pull up this source right here. This is a book they got on Google. They got another one right here. The Dutch and the Atlantic slave trade, right? The Dutch and the Atlantic slave trade. Piezas de India. So right here we see the Spaniards devised a system called Piezza de India, a piezza representing the whole individual, right? But able to be broken down into fractions thereof. For example, a strong young African male will be worth a whole piazza. See, they're referencing Africa here because the Spanish, they imported their system, their commercial colonial system to the Americas. They imported it. Long story short, they brought it here with them, right? So now what do we have? A whole piazza. That means a whole person. But at the same time, this is a piece of the people. This is how they viewed entire people. Piazzas de India. India originally applied to the Americas. Okay? India, I mentioned this previously, right? And in my book, I defined it. India was an American woman. Indio was an American man. Right? Continuing, whereas a female, a child, or a not so strong male will be broken down into fractions of a piazza. Therefore, a shipment of slaves could contain 560 individuals, but the worth of these individuals, right, could be counted as 300. Piazza de India. That's what they're saying here in this particular text. Okay? Let's continue though. Now let's look at the Dutch, what the Dutch is saying here. I'm gonna tell you, I enjoy the Dutch. I enjoy the Dutch historical literature because the Dutch, they kept some very good records. And this is like colonial text that we're reading from right now. Let's just scroll down real quick. A very common designation for slaves, particularly in the trade of with the Spanish colonies or the Asiento trade, okay? The Asiento trade. The Asiento is a Spanish contract. You can look it up for yourself. Asiento. Asiento being spelled A-S-I-E-N-T-O, trade, right? Was Piazza de India. Here we have India with a capital I on it, right? Let's zoom in on this text. This is very important here. Literally a piece of India. You see that right there? Literally a piece of India. This is from the Dutch text right here. 1600 through 1815, a Johannes Postma, Dutch. Literally a piece of India. Yo, that's right here in America. A piece of our American women. Because they knew where they come from, right? Through our American women. Yo, our American women are the land. The shit that's going on is fucking horrible. Especially by the fact so many of our people not being aware of what's really going on out here. And not making preparations to secure themselves, collectively speaking, ourselves. Anyway, I'll tell you what. In translations of Dutch, would often substitute for this word leverbar or deliverable, slave, or they might simply use the term peace or peace. A Piazza de India was not an individual. See, different here than what we just read a moment ago, right? Was not an individual, essentially a measure of potential labor. A potential labor. A measure of potential labor. This is the mindset of these foreigners. This is their mindset right here. Perception of our American people, yo. Our Aboriginal, Autochthonous, Indigenous American people. This is the foreign perception of us, okay? Thus, younger slaves were counted as fractions of piazzas. In the Asiento trade, cargo accounts would often include fractions, which might produce difficulties in determining the number of human beings, quote unquote human beings, because yo, I don't agree with human. Beings is fine. I don't mind being, because we do be. We are beings. We be what we be, period. I agree with that. This might represent. So now here, this text right here goes some good goddamn detail. Definitely look this up. The Dutch and the Atlantic slave trade, 1600 to 1815. But let's continue though. I said I got a little time on my hands today. We define what a native is. I got a question for y'all. Still present. Would you want to identify yourself as a native? Use a one or a two. One for yes, two for no. Feel free to do it. Based upon these definitions. Me personally, I'm a two all day. Nah, I disagree. I'm not a native. I don't care. Continuing. Says here, Indian tribes are subordinate independent nations protected by the doctrine of sovereign immunity. The power of the tribe to determine its own form of government includes the power to interpret its own laws and ordinances. Yo, we do this naturally, man. Thing is, we have to get into communication with each other. We gotta establish effective communication with each other. Because there has been so much disturbance, interruption, diversions, subversions, perversions of what is ours. And we have work to do in regards to this. That is of our duty, of our authority, all day, every day. Feel free to pull up that definition on definitions.uslegal.com of native. So you can define it for yourself and you can determine if this is what you want to be associated with, being a native. Because as Indians, right, we have very particular things for ourselves. Very particular. Separate in definition from that of a native. Here I pulled up the definition of sovereign immunity. This represents states here. Another link to that. Another link to that. Here we have American Indian law. In U.S. law, the terms Indians refer generally to the indigenous peoples of the continent at the time of European colonization. Period. So I don't want to hear nobody's bullshit. Legal definition right there. I don't want to hear no bullshit. I'm tired of hearing the bullshit. Throughout 2020, there's been a lot of people talking bullshit. Mixing and mingling. Yo, like I said, kill confusion. Feel free to pull this up too. This is on Cornell Law, law.cornell.edu. Definition of American Indian, specifically American Indian law. Okay, let's continue here. Now we're going to get into some shit because this is the situation here, right? We have this Kamala Harris, okay? And now, before I present this particular portion right here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to pull up this particular thing right here, right? The pride of our village, Kamala Harris' historic election as vice president celebrated in Indian. The pride of our village. Do you see this shit? The pride of our village. This is November 8th, USA Today. Fucking kidding me, right? Residents of Kamala Harris' ancestral village in India Okay? And keep in mind what I just read to y'all about Pieta's Day, India, because that pertains to the Americas, right? Anyway, residents of Kamala Harris' ancestral village in India celebrated the vice president-elect's historical win with placards, firecrackers, prayers, and other festivities, according to videos posted on social media and local news reports. The village was rocked by the sound of bursting crackers. A local Indian, quote unquote, Indian TV reporter recounted in a video clip that showed a group of villagers in Thulasindraparam, home to Harris' grandfather, gathered in a semicircle around a small lighted firework. At the village temple, the priest performed a special prayer to celebrate at a village temple. At the village temple. Do you hear that shit? What kind of temple is this? We got to do research on this place here called Thulasindraparam. What is a Thulasindraparam? Let's look up their priest. They got priest over there, and you know Kamala Harris has priests praying for her from over there. I'm gonna have to do this research and come back to y'all with this because you know I don't want to be too lengthy with it. Takes me some time doing research. But this is what was going on here. They're celebrating her over there. They're foreigners. They're celebrating her because this is where she's from. Now let me show you some other shit real quick. Let's get into some shit. We about to get into some shit right fucking now. Check this shit out right here. This is on Open Edition Journals. See it right there, right? It says right here. India, that is Bharat. One country, two names. Bharat is the original name. I done shared this before. The politics of naming is shaped by broad socio-political conditions and can be studied from several angles. Adopting a cultural history perspective, this paper considers some of the inherited discourses on Bharata, right? Both prior to and at the time of its official equation with India in the Constitution 1750. 1750. Key information there. It focuses on three successive definitional moments: the Puranic definition of Bharata, the shift to its colonial definition when the old toponym became the indigenous name for a budding nation exposed to the imported political and geographical conceptions of British India. So this means right here that the British imported India, the name, from the Americas, right, to this region of the world formerly known as Bharat. They took it there and applied it upon the people and for whose benefits and purpose? Because this is what we have here today. This is what we have here today. We have, where's she at again? Right there. We have this female here, okay? This foreign immigrant female here. She has engaged in identity theft, fraud. That's what she has done. I don't give a fuck. Vice president elect. Not my motherfucking vice president. Nah, I don't got those unless it's for one of my businesses, one of my corporations, one of my companies, not my vice president. Period. Anyway, what does she do? Where is she from? This is what we have a duty to inform each other about. We have this duty to inform each other about these people, whether foreign or national, that are engaged in corruption. This is corruption here. In my opinion, in my perception, what I see, this is corruption, this is perversion, this is unnatural behavior, period. I would not go to no foreign country and assume the identity of those people, man. So that they would support some shit that they don't even know that I'm going to do to them. Where she comes from, because she did not come from Jamaica. No, her people traveled from Hindustan to the Caribbean, from there to North America, California. And it should be known what she has done while she was in California. Let's continue real quick because I'm gonna show y'all something here. These foreigners have a background in doing this identity theft shit. They have a fucking background of this shit. Take a look here. See this character right here? Which one got into med school? Which one got into med school? Take a look at this shit right here. Okay, so look. The quote-unquote Indian American applicant, a VJ, right? 3.1 college GPA, 31 MCAT score, member of the South Asian Student Association, rejected. See that shit? Now we go over here to the left, pardon me, to the right. So over here, he has his hair, right? And over here, he cuts his hair off. The African American affirmative action applicant. That's what he applied for. And his new name that he put on application is JoJo. Same GPA score, same MCAT score, and now he's a member, or he said that he's a member of the Organization of Black Students. That's here in the Americas. If I recall correctly, this was at the University of Maryland medical school. That's where he got in at. That means that he engaged in fraud for financial gain so he could get into a medical school that was designated for quote unquote Black Americans. But hold on, let's compare real quick though. Hold on, let's like I said, I'm big on comparison, right? I'm big on that. Let's look at her and him. So hold on, let's get this straight real quick. What did he do different than her? What did he do different than her? I'm not speaking in regards to the career pursuit. I'm speaking in regards to how they achieved their objective, how they saw and focused on what they wanted to accomplish, right? And what they needed to do to accomplish that particular task, right? What did she do different from him? Nothing. She did nothing different because they both committed fraud. They both lied. They both deceived. Utilizing resources from here, not from where they're from. They didn't use the resources from their countries of origin. They used our American resources to achieve their own individual, but collectively, their nation's results. They represent for their people, not ours. This shit is a fucking problem on our land. We're not doing this shit in their countries of origin. No, we're fucking not. I dare motherfucker try to prove me fucking wrong on that basic goddamn truth. I dare motherfucker prove me wrong on that basic truth. Because that shit is true as fuck. Brandon Rogers, I see you here. That's right. Kamala's mother would never marry one of us American Aborigines. Her mother remained loyal to her people, which I wholeheartedly respect. Yeah, but at the same goddamn time, they can take this fucking fraud back to wherever the fuck they come from. Because this shit is fucked up. What I can't respect is the fact that you got an immigrant coming over here to the Americas, deceiving, manipulating, scheming, scamming, causing harm to our American peoples. When we've already been harmed, still going through harm. Still going through harm. These are injuries. Legal definition of injury. Let's pull that up real quick. What you said right here, Brandon. These are examples that there are various ethnicities across the globe that share similar hues of complexion, similar to ours. That's very true, but goddamn, no, they don't share a similar fucking culture, similar fucking dignity, similar fucking honor, similar goddamn integrity, because we don't do this shit they fucking do. Period, man. We don't do it. Never have. We've been at motherfucking war since these motherfuckers around here. Definition, right here. Injury. Back to Cornell law. It says an injury is a harm suffered by a person due to some act or omission done by another person and can generally give rise to a civil tort claim or criminal prosecution. Hey, yo, they cause harm to our American people, period. Feel free to take a look at this definition here. Yo, we're about to get into some other shit through the work that has been prepared. Once again, much appreciation to our American people. Much appreciation to them all that are active, that are applying their intelligence, applying their abilities, applying their spirit, applying their strength, enforcing their authority, maintaining their duty. We got duty out here. Let's continue though. Bro, goddamn. I'm like looking at these motherfuckers, man. Real talk. Now look, here we go. Let's continue though. Reading between India, Bharat, and Hindustan. Here it is right here. And this is coming from HindustanTimes.com, right? It says, Bharat is where we dream, in Hindustan where we live. You hear that shit right there? Look at that. Look at that. Bharat is where we dream, in Hindustan where we live. And where the common man and woman faces inflation with poverty, extravagance with squalor, corruption with defeat. Yeah. You see this shit. I'm gonna put this shit in the fucking chat. Hold on, right there, yeah. We'll put this quote right here. This is what they have in their Hindustan Times, yo. Where he comes from, committing fraud, causing injury, because check it out, right? The resource that was given to him, right, was intended for quote unquote Black American. Okay? Get him out of here. Same here. The fraud with her, yo, this is where she come from. Bharat is where we dream, in Hindustan where we live, and where the common man and woman faces inflation with poverty. Poverty is inflation where they is inflating where they come from. Extravagance with squalor. Squalor means wasted. corruption with defeat. They've been defeated by corruption in their own country of origin. They've been dominated, not us. And look what they're doing. Coming over here, calling themselves Indians. They're not in. Yo, I got a problem with all of this shit. I've been trying to communicate this shit for some years now. But yo, shit's taking a fucking head with this foreign liar, deceiver, fraud being what? Being positioned in front of our American people, right? So what? She can further her corruption by the hypnosis in which these foreigners apply to our people? This shit is unacceptable. And we have to communicate that this shit is unacceptable to each other, period. Let me get her out of here too. I'm tired of looking at her. In this article here, right? All about India, quote unquote. Bharat or Hindustan, right? It's all about it. Look at this. India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. Look at that shit. They inherited this shit from the fucking British, man. Same shit the British did here in America, they did over there, man. This is a part of the work that we got to do. But first and foremost, we have to be aware of what has happened. This is what I've been working on for quite some time now. Is preparing awareness of what has been going on. This is why I made the legal chronology of the Americas, the implications and ramifications of the artificial black identity, including the legal chronology of the Americas, 1492 to 1968, because all of this is provided. Laid out the plot, laid out the scheme, chronologically. And now we about to do that much more. We about to do some more. We got some more coming. Much appreciation to our American people. I appreciate working with everybody that's really about that good work. There's a lot of it. And yo, we can't be bullshitting out here. We got to inform our people. Yeah. I'm gonna put the link to this in the chat too. All right, because this right here, this article here, it provides great context in defining the truth about these foreigners here. It lets you know cleanly and clearly what they are aware of. Remember, this is from their newspaper. This is not our newspaper. That's their newspaper. Let me close out these tabs real quick. This is their newspaper, not ours. We didn't write that shit for them. We don't believe in the shit they believe in. Straight like that. And there's plenty. Look. They have a newspaper titled The Indian Express. But they're not Indians. And look, from Mulaha, Melaha to Hindustan, the many names of India and Bharat. Come the fuck on. They know what they're doing. They publish what they're doing. Now I showed it before, so I'm gonna show it again. Let me show it again. Yeah. A Moor is a Hindu. How about that shit? We're talking about elaborate schemes against our American people. The foreigners know exactly what's going on. They know exactly what they're doing. And in my opinion, they're not giving a fuck because they have their own intents, interest, and investments into what they're doing. They have effectively came together for the extermination of our people, the usurpation, etc., of us. They came together for this shit. We didn't conspire against them. Not at all. We did not commit fraud. We caused no harm to any of these foreign nations, man. But this is what they've done since they arrived here as colonists. And they are fully fucking aware. That's what I want to communicate today. They're fully fucking aware. And I must extend appreciation to our American people. Because if we don't appreciate each other, all these other motherfuckers gonna depreciate all of us as we see taking place. The depreciation is very fucking active. Okay, I can't locate that particular post right now. Let me just do this. I'm gonna go to Edom Online. You can go to Edom Online as well. All right. We're gonna look up more. That's what we're gonna look up right now. Because I'm tired of the bullshit. I've already defined all of this shit in past presentations. I'm just doing it again as a goddamn update. All right. Look at this right here. Let's fucking get into it right fucking here. Let's zoom in on this shit. Hold on. Let me pull this up specifically. Oh, no. See, did the same shit. Okay, whatever. Yep. Right there. Zoom in. I'll put this in the chat too. All right? Let's do it big for the small lovers out there, right? Because motherfuckers want to fucking go back and forth. You want to be a fucking Moor today and an Indian tomorrow. And an hour later, 30 minutes later, whatever the fuck you want to do, that's your goddamn choice, man. But yo, hey, I'm not with the goddamn confusion. Like I said, kill confusion. Kill the fucking confusion. I'm not with confusing our American people. I'm not with that shit. Now check it. It starts off North African, Berber, one of the race dwelling in Barbary. That's from the late 14th century. The old French Moor or More, right? From medieval Latin, Moris. From Latin, Moris, inhabitant of Mauritania. Roman Northwest Africa, a region now corresponding to northern Algeria and Morocco. From Greek Moros, perhaps a native name, or else cognate with Moros, black. The Moors are fucking black by default. So all that shit they be talking about, yo, black is dead in law. Motherfucker, that means a Moor is dead in law. A Moor is dead in law based upon this and what the fuck they say and what has been proven true in law. A Moor is black and black is dead in law. So guess what? It means the same shit. Let's continue now. Back to India, quote unquote, right? Look, also apply to the Arabic conquerors of Spain. Being a dark people, they're calling them a dark people in relation to Europeans. Their name in the Middle Ages was a synonym for Negro. This is later, 16th century through 17th century. Being the nearest Muslims to Western Europe, it was used indiscriminately of Muslims, Persians, Arabs, etc., but especially those in India. You see this shit right here? See this shit right here? Do you see this shit right here? Where's Kamala Harris from again? Motherfuckers have been deceived into voting for a fucking war. Again, Obama's a Moor. He from goddamn Africa. Shit. Come on, man. This shit is unacceptable to me, man. This shit is goddamn unacceptable here. It is our duty to inform each other, man, so that we can make preparations for the coming conflicts. Because the conflicts that are present right now, that have been active for many generations, the conflicts that was brought to our ancestors. The colonists brought conflicts to our ancestors. Here we are to this day right now. Those conflicts are still fucking present. These foreigners have no problem engaging in identity theft. None at all. They have no problem. It's normal to them. They come from impoverished regions of the world. They come from colonization. They're places that have been long conquered. Conquered before them motherfuckers even came to the Americas. They was already fucking conquered, already dominated, already subjugated, subjected, etc. And now they're here and they are imposing everything that happened onto them onto us for the betterment of themselves. I prove this in the implications and ramifications of the artificial black identity, because this Negro more shit does not apply to our American people. I have proven this shit in a chronological order. I proved it. And I don't appreciate the perpetuation of confusion and ignorance by those that are in positions of influence. I do not appreciate that shit, because this is not the time for more confusion and entertainment. Confusion is not fucking entertainment when our entire existence is on the line. Like I said, our entire existence is on the line. So I don't want to hear shit. These motherfuckers of influence, quote unquote influencers, or whatever level, you got 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million plus goddamn followers. If you ain't telling the people the fucking truth, yo, man, I don't want to hear nothing that you fucking saying, man. For real. I'd rather talk to the people that got influence over themselves. That's not a fucking contract whore. That's what I call them, contract whores. Contract whores. They foreign fucking contract whores, period. They don't work for us. They don't. I'm not going to be delusional. I'm not trying to be inclusional. With motherfuckers trying to strip us everything. All these foreign corporations are invested in every sector of destroying our people. Media is for the destruction of the mind of our people. Pharmaceuticals is for the destruction of the mind and body of our people. Shit, let's go into politics real quick. Foreign political schemes, right? That has gone into the destruction of our ability to come together for the same goddamn objectives. All these black political motherfuckers, right? What have they done? Created goddamn division throughout the descendants, the Aboriginal, Indigenous, Autochthonous people of our Americas. This is our Americas, man. Fuck dumb shit, man. They all treat us to this day as Piezas de India. To this day, they treat us, our American people, as Piezza de India. Pieces of ourselves and pieces of our land. And once again, I have to ask, is that shit acceptable? I'm done with this more shit, man. Done with it. Letitia James here. She needs to be made aware as an American lawyer, activist, and politician of what she is complicit in right now, causing harm and injury to our American peoples, specifically the Shinnecock Nation right now. But all the American Aboriginal, Autochthonous, Indigenous nations, the descendants of people in New York, where she is an attorney general of, huh? She needs to be made aware. Do you agree? Because this shit is unacceptable. This behavior is unacceptable. Motherfuckers want to talk about unity and shit. Well, can we unite around what the fuck is what's acceptable and what's unacceptable? Can we unite around just identifying basic fucking principles, fundamental, natural shit, such as what's acceptable and what's not acceptable? Corruption in law is unacceptable, period. Indignity, dishonor, it's all unacceptable. So how dare what? Silence is acquiescence in law. Be silent, therefore, given the past, making it acceptable. 4, more indignity, more corruption, more perversion, more criminal legal activities to take place, causing harm and injury to our American people. That's bullshit. We deserve better, and we fucking know better. The time is fucking short for so many of our American people. These motherfuckers is going to sit back, impose all types of fucked up shit on our American people. Vaccinations, fucked up. It's fucked up. Prove me wrong that the vaccinations is good for you. How about this? I'm gonna stick to nature, man. Yo, throughout nature, there's antiviral herbs. I'm not getting no fucking virus. Fuck out of here. I'm good. Are you good with nature? Are you good with nature? Motherfuckers are scared of goddamn our American beings, such as insects, right? Lizards and birds and squirrels and rabbits. They scared. They in fear. Be on the phone with them, they drop that shit. Run. Come back, be like, yo, my bad, I dropped the phone. Like, damn, why you dropped the phone? Oh, I seen a lizard. The fuck you dropped the phone because you seen a lizard? That lizard just came to say hello. Why you run from the lizard that came to say hello? It's a greeting. Its presence itself is a greeting to you. Shit crazy, man. So, Letitia James, somebody need to talk to her. Since she has a nationality of American, well, she need to be informed of her American goddamn duty. If you call yourself American, you call yourself an American, you have a duty to our American people. That's how the fuck I'm on it. You have a duty to our American people. Other than that, lose the fucking name. She needs to be a goddamn African American for fucking being a party in a lawsuit against the Shinnecock Nation. That's some African American bullshit right there. Let me get off of that. Fuck, that shit, yo, man, shit's sick, yo. I ain't even gonna look up her goddamn lineage. Behaving like that, I don't even want to know. All of these motherfuckers is artificial persons. All of them. Contracted for a service of process. That's it. They contracted for this bullshit here. Against us. Motherfuckers want to dominate us. Produce more confusion amongst us. Want to treat us as pizzas they India and shit like that to this day. There's over 400 years of this Piazza Day India shit, man. What is it now? Piazza Day Africano, Africano, Americano, or some shit? What the fuck? What do they want to call it? Shit's fucking retarded, man. I'm closing all this shit out. Look. Here's an article right here. This motherfucker wrote an entire article about his motherfucking fraud. Why I faked being black for med school. BJ Taco Ingam as an Indian American applicant. Look. Look at this shit right here. They got this shit on New York Post, yo. Just dated 2015, yo. All right? Look. Let's zoom in on this motherfucker. Let's zoom in on that just so you can read that for yourself, right? VJ on the left. That's him on the left. He got professional headshots done for his goddamn application. and there's an African-American applicant on the right. And who the fuck was stupid enough not to fucking recognize the fucking phenotype out this motherfucker? Who the fuck is processing these applications, man? Who of our American daughters and sons missed out on the resources that was due to them, right? Thanks to this fucking fraudulent, fucking foreign piece of shit motherfucker right here. I don't give a fuck about him being in med school here in America. He need to take his ass back to where he should have gone to law school where the fuck med school where the fuck he come from. It's just retarded, man. BJ, how did you come up with pretending like you're black to get into med school? That was crazy, huh? Yeah, it was. But at the time, it seemed like a good idea. This is in fucking New York goddamn Post, man. 2015 shit. You think these foreigners don't communicate what the fuck they be doing? How they be getting away with shit? You think they don't? Let's click on this fucking link and see what this motherfucker about, man. Yo, our youth out here killing each other, smacking the shit out of each other. I just seen a video like yesterday up in the mall somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Youth done smacked the shit out of another youth. Our American youth smacking the shit out of each other in the fucking mall, right? But meanwhile, this motherfucker, nobody smacked the shit out of him for fraud. For fraud. For fucking fraud, nobody smacked the shit out this motherfucker. Huh? That's what I mean by cowboy season is over. Nah, that shit gonna turn the fuck around. Period. I don't give a fuck. That shit gonna turn around, man. Fuck these motherfuckers, man. People have asked for the last 15 years, VJ, how did you come up with pretending like you're black to get into medical school? Get the fuck out of here. He did that shit in America. He did not do that shit in Africa. He did not do that shit in fucking Europe. He did not do that shit in goddamn Asia. He did not do that shit in goddamn Hindustan, where the fuck he's from. No, he did that shit right here. Right fucking here. He did that shit. Our resources went to him going to fucking med school. Do we not need our own medical professionals that are for the health, the vitality, the longevity of our American people? No. What the fuck do we got? A whole bunch of fucking foreigners that taught each other how to fucking engage in goddamn fraud, active, and now you got a motherfucking Kamala fucking Harris. What the fuck did I hear last night? And shout out to that woman that did that video last night telling that goddamn truth. Yo, I showed y'all some years ago the goddamn transportation statistics. Transportation statistics. Look that shit up. Look how many motherfuckers being transported to the Americas. And look at how many motherfuckers coming over and how many motherfuckers going back. There's a big goddamn gap in that shit. Including this motherfucker. Where's he at right now? Like I said, he needs the shit smacked up. He was not penalized for the fraud he engaged in. The identity theft. Identity theft. The financial fucking gain that he received for fraud. No, this is of the work. Because for me, I ain't gonna lie, I done smacked the shit out of foreigners, man. I got no problem with that shit. I want our people to live. Them other motherfuckers, nah, man. I'm not on their land disrespecting them like they doing to us, man. They on our shit doing this shit to us. That's why I said a couple years back on Kerry Davis' channel, are we thinking as an individual or are we thinking as a nation? I told other motherfuckers, yo, one fall, all fall, dealing with our nations, man. We cannot be silent. We cannot be isolated and be like, oh, I'm going to be selective on this one. No, you're going through that. You, not me. Fuck out of here, dog. We, us. Because that's how the foreigners view us by default anyway. They're like, we're going to fuck them niggers up. Nigger, meaning American Indian. We're going to fuck them up in every shape, form, or fashion that we can. Fuck the dumb shit. But so, I appreciate y'all time and y'all presence, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Yeah. Like I said, the purpose of this video right here is to extend appreciation and to acknowledge the purpose of so many of our great people, man. So many of our great people that did some great work out here, still doing great work out here, but especially to encourage more of us to tap into their duty, their authority, and etc. For them to know that they're appreciated, for them to know that they have purpose that is valued and appreciated as well. Like I said, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Take a look at over this shit for yourselves. Inform your people, inform your community, inform your relatives, etc. You know what I'm saying? This is the final quarter. You know, was it like 7 weeks left in this 2020 situation? We got work to do for this shit close when we go to the next 2021 situation. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be good out there. Take care of yourselves, man. Stay healthy, stay strong. You know what I mean? Definitely. Stay healthy, stay strong out there. Take care of yourselves. You know what I mean? Stay focused. Yo, kill foreign media. Kill your TV. Don't be cannon fodder. Kill identity crisis. Kill corruption. We all have a duty of doing these basic things, maintaining the dignity, the honor, the integrity of ourselves and our people, man. We all have a role in all of this, man. So, y'all be good.